So you might be a very valuable asset for the printer?
I don't know how do they take it, but I always thought I was a valuable asset.
When MBBS Doctor thought of pursuing MD, landed up in corrugation, then into paper scrap, eventually into the ink industry.
Yeah, I still have a few patients who still consult me only first. Then they go to the doctor.
Hi everybody, welcome to Ink Stories, India's first podcast for the printing industry. I'm Sujit from ASM, your host for the show. Thanks for your overwhelming responses over calls and messages. We really appreciate that. Of the many questions that came out this week, one of them that stood out was, is Ink Stories only meant for printers of a certain scale? Our responses to them and all our listeners today are, Ink Stories is not about scale or size. It's about stories. Anyone who has an interesting story to share, please let us know. Please reach out to us. We would be more than happy to cover you. Today we have a very interesting guest. He comes from a profession that many of us aspire to be at some point in our career. He is a doctor. He ran a successful practice for a couple of years, got into his family business of corrugation, and eventually ended up with an ink matching center based out of Mumbai. He is Dr. Ravi Kedia of Ginni Gopal. I was very curious to know why would a doctor, which is considered to be one of the most respectable professions in India, move to the printing industry, which is considered to be the most challenging industry. I was very happy to know his journey. I'm sure you guys would be as excited to hear his journey as I was. Before moving ahead, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe now. Also a humble request, if you can give us your comments and feedbacks in the comment section below, it will help us spread the word. Let's get started. Hi Ravi,
Hi.
Welcome to Ink Stories. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
It's been, though I'm meeting you for the first time, I've heard about you from some friends, and I thought that it would be an interesting conversation to have someone outside the printing fraternity and to have an ink supplier into our series of podcasts. So, and I got to know that you're a MBBS doctor. That made it all the more interesting. So, I think we would like to know your story. Welcome to Ink Stories again.
Thank you very much.
Are you all set? Can we start?
I am. Please.
So great. The first obvious question starts with your journey. Where were you born and where are you from, and till this date, if you can just run us through your background.
So I was born and brought up in Bombay. I was born in Vileparle only. My education, everything happened in Vileparle. I'm a Mitibai College.
Are you
12th pass out.
Okay.
So after 12th, I went for my MBBS, which was in Karnataka, Bijapur. Bijapur was a very remote place, so a lot to learn from there. Staying in that kind of atmosphere after going from Bombay, it's a very, very remote place. When I went there, खाली तांगा चलता था और साइकिल रिक्शा चलता था.
Okay.
So और फिर वो everybody used to go around in cycles.
Okay.
So bike was a very new feature then, motorbikes or scooters.
Which year are we talking about?
1988.
1988. Okay.
And I'm very good at dates. So my first day in my medical college was 8/8/88, which I will never forget. So 8 August 1988.
Okay.
I don't know how does it help, but then ठीक है था.
Okay. Some connection.
Yeah, some connection somewhere. So going from Bombay to Bijapur, completely new atmosphere.
So you were born and brought up in Bijapur?
No, I'm born and brought up in Bombay.
So can you just take us like you were born in Bombay throughout your family a little bit?
Yeah, so I belong to a Marwari family.
Okay.
And my father-in-law, it's a big family.
Okay.
And my father-in-law has 7 brothers. So one of my father's brothers stays in Calcutta, one in Bangalore, one in Kota, Rajasthan, 3 of them here in Bombay.
Okay.
So we had a big family always, and I won't say I was but sort of a pampered child. And
were you the youngest?
No, I was not the youngest, but then बॉम्बे में शायद मैं बॉयज़ में एल्डेस्ट था तो
अच्छा
हाँ सो और मेरे अंकल्स वगैरह थे तो वी यूज्ड टू हैव फन
जॉइंट फैमिली
आई हैड लॉट ऑफ गार्जियंस एज वेल एज फन सो दोनों था मार भी बहुत पड़ा है एंजॉय भी बहुत किया एंड स्कूलिंग वाज ओके आई वाज अ एवरेज स्टूडेंट नॉट अ बैड नॉट अ गुड एंड दैट वाज बाय चॉइस बिकॉज बाकी के चीज़ों में बहुत मजा आता था.
Must be modest. अभी आप MBBS कर रहे हो तो
not necessarily. Not necessarily. I can give you examples for that, but then not necessarily. I was by choice not a very good student.
Okay.
So I mean.
You chose not to study.
Yeah, मतलब मस्ती अलग रहता था, खेलना कूदना वो सब बहुत था. I was I would say I was a street smart boy.
Okay.
So I used to enjoy my life
Okay.
as much as I could.
Okay.
So I was मुझे याद है class 6 में, so my brother had bought a scooter.
Okay.
चेतक. So उसने मुझे ना स्कूटर पे बिठा दिया और एक स्लोप पे छोड़ दिया. And I just balanced it. So after that I started scooter चलाना, and I used to love taking the scooter to school in class 6 standard. और ऐसे एकदम boast करना होता ना, you flaunt कि अरे ऐसी मैं स्कूटर पे आ रहा हूँ. तो वो सब बहुत किया. And I used to enjoy that. Then I did my 11th and 12th in Mithibai science.
Okay.
Luckily I got into Mithibai.
Okay.
Very luckily, otherwise नहीं मिलता था. I had taken admission in town.
So Mithibai was even then a prized college like it is today? Okay.
It was a priced college, no attendance का stress, bindas.
अच्छा.
So I did my 12th from Mithibai, then I went to Bijapur for my medical.
Okay.
So my father had this instinct कि one of the boys in the generation should be a doctor, because my uncle in the higher generation was a doctor.
अच्छा.
So हमारे generation में मारवाड़ीज में generally ये होता था ना कि by the time you are into college, everybody was into commerce. So once you cross 12th, when you are into degree college, तो half day college, then half day office.
Okay.
वो मारवाड़ी families में या गुजराती families में वो चलता ही था system. So my father was very stubborn कि no, you have to do science.
Okay.
So पापा ने बोला तो हमने भी science ले लिया, and then I went to medicine. I did my MBBS. I mean, what do you say? You say a boon in disguise. So 6 years of my medicine years, I would still treasure them.
I'm sure. College life is always
absolutely. So I was
so dear to.
Yeah, it's very dear even today, because all those friends, we still are into network. We still are in touch.
I'm sure.
We still keep meeting, talking.
Yeah.
And वो बोलते हैं ना कि we have been friends in that thick and thin. So mostly thin ही रहता था, हालत ख़राब ही रहती थी सबकी एक दूसरे की, लेकिन सब एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करते रहते थे. तो we are friends of that time, and वो आज भी हैं.
पर जो MBBS का एक ना that I'm sure you understand what coming to. I'm not sure if you understand, because एक जनरल इंडिया में डॉक्टर बोले तो आदमी साइड से निकल गया था, बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्ट है.
आज भी है.
I'm sure आज भी है.
आज भी अभी कोविड टाइम्स में भी मैंने देखा, और लोगों को एक हैबिट होता है कि आजकल डॉक्टर लूटते हैं, हॉस्पिटल लूटता है. ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो डॉक्टर्स को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं देते, या बोलते हैं एटलीस्ट,
पीछे बोलते हैं, लेकिन सामने देखेंगे तो
I'll tell you, I've been in industry since last 25-30 years now, and like आपसे बात हो रहा है तो if I'm talking to someone and by chance it comes up that I'm a doctor, so his way of talking to me completely changes.
अच्छा.
Completely changes, however big he is.
अच्छा.
And I have felt it always.
So I'm sure it has worked in your favor.
Absolutely, every time. So that education, I always say, education does not go waste. And ठीक है, I'm still in touch.
So you're encouraging the printing fraternity to educate the children, irrespective of wherever
education,
they are.
आज की तारीख में तो education is the most important thing, whatever field you go. And today, I mean, when I passed my 12th in 88, and today when I see a boy or a girl passing their 12th, the opportunities, the kind of opportunities, specializations. I mean, I feel
unbelievable.
आज तो तुम वड़ा पाव का भी धंधा करोगे तो उसमें भी स्पेशलाइज करोगे, बहुत आगे जा सकते हो.
अब चाय को देख लो, चाय से इतना बड़ा 60 स्टोर वाला.
So I have a cousin in Calcutta. He started something called a chai break.
Okay.
Today he's at a different level. Yeah. So who would have thought कि just starting a kiosk, and from there he's today got chain of hotels.
Opportunities are just all around you. You have to pick them.
Absolutely.
Whatever you would want. So tell us a little bit more. Why did you get into printing from MBBS? I mean, you could have had a very promising career there. I'm sure you're having a good career now as well.
Basically, my whole family is into corrugation.
Okay.
So my father, all my uncles.
So Ginni Gopal Boards is
Ginni Gopal Boards.
Ginni Gopal Boards.
So we are Ginni Gopal group, because this Ginni Gopal name comes from my grandmother and grandfather.
Okay.
So Ginni was my grandmother.
Would be the grandmother's name.
And Gopal is my grandfather. So
nice.
This name comes from there, and under that roof we all are there.
Yeah, I was browsing a little bit about you on the internet, since I didn't know you well. I could see a lot of pizza boxes, so I'm sure that would be a part of the family.
Yeah, so my younger brother Samrat and Shlok, they are looking after this pizza boxes, and they specialized in this pizza boxes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something very interesting. I mean, how does ideas come and how does it respond. So Samrat once told me कि भैया hospitality business has a exhibition. So it was there in BKC.
Okay.
Now how many corrugators would think to go into a hospitality business fair and put a stall?
Okay.
So hospitality business includes restaurants and hotels.
True.
So from there, he was already into pizza boxes.
Okay.
So from there, that response was completely different.
Okay.
So he made his own brand.
I mean, you mean to say that he actually participated in a hospitality exhibition?
Yeah. He
Wow.
put a stall there of pizza boxes.
Acha. I mean, I think he would be the only one.
Today he is doing extremely well. He's exporting pizza boxes. He has his own brand of pizza boxes. So he's doing very well.
I'm sure. Very nice.
So these are ideas.
Different thinking always helps.
So that is what, different thinking always helps.
Yeah.
So अभी innovations का ही ज़माना है. Normal तो business अब कहाँ चलता है?
Normal business का अपना एक limitation है. I mean, then it becomes a capital driven business.
Yeah, you cannot grow then.
आप कितना capital डाल सकते हो आप में जितनी
So then money only makes.
काबिलियत है पैसे लगाने की.
But today ideas के ही पैसे.
Ideas के पैसे.
So I mean you see any idea, I mean which is मतलब at times when you see some new startup coming and you see that idea, तो ऐसा लगता है यार ये अभी तो nowadays you have this अंतिम यात्रा startup also. Event.
When someone passes away, okay.
तो वो भी एक बड़ा इवेंट हो गया आजकल. प्रीवियसली मेरे को याद है और कि मतलब अगर किसी का डेथ हो गया तो पूरा समाज आके सब कुछ कर लेता था. अब तो कोई कुछ करता ही नहीं. वो अंतिम यात्रा वाले को फोन करता है, वही सब कुछ करता है.
सब कुछ कर लेता है.
अब आदमी तो सब ऐसे खड़े रहते हैं जैसे
आप गेस्ट हो अपने फैमिली में.
तो अभी हर चीज़ ना आइडिया ड्रिवन हो गया.
So coming from a family of corrugation players and being a big brand in that, so why did you choose to get into inks?
So when I completed my MBBS, when I landed in Bombay, so I don't know, I got married when I was doing my internship.
Oh, okay, that early.
Probably that वो होता है ना कि वो you get married and वो and luckily my wife is my neighbor from my childhood.
अच्छा.
So
childhood love.
Yeah, so नहीं love marriage तो नहीं था, arranged था, but the courtship period was too long.
Okay.
Almost 9 months or 10 months. So we had तो वो पूरा 9 months 10 months ना इंटर्नशिप पे उतना फोकस ही नहीं रहा. फोकस ना वो बीजापुर से बॉम्बे पे ही रहता था. टेलीफोन, टेलीलेटर्स and all that stuff. तो ठीक है, we did that, but then I tried for my PG seats, but I could not get through a good PG.
But कई इच्छा था कि आपको pursue करना है.
When you completed MBBS, you have to.
अच्छा.
And वो रहेगा ही क्योंकि you are just coming out of that.
अच्छा.
And I joined my uncle's clinic. My uncle is a doctor in Vilepale.
Oh, okay.
So I joined him.
By the name?
Dr. Rajkumar Kedia.
Dr. Rajkumar Kedia. Okay.
So I started going to the clinic morning, evenings.
अच्छा.
So afternoons, what I used to do, जब वो 3-4 घंटे का गैप रहता था, तो I used to go and sit in the office.
Of the corrugation business.
Corrugation का office था.
And that was in?
Virwani Industry.
Goregaon East. Okay.
So my father, my uncles, everybody used to sit there. So even I used to go there.
अच्छा.
So rather than going home,
अच्छा. Break में आप उधर चले जाते.
फिर वहाँ पे एक नया आइडिया आया था कि they were going to start a factory at Wada.
अच्छा.
Wada was a remote place again.
Right.
Near Palghar. तो we were
starting. आज भी ठीक ठाक ही रिमोट है.
अब तो नहीं, अब तो बहुत आगे निकल गया.
हाँ नहीं, but तभी भी यानी ऐसा नहीं है.
So Wada was a new factory was coming up. So I got the opportunity to get into that a little. And then वो little से थोड़ा ज़्यादा हुआ. Then traveling to Wada used to take a day. Wada was not that आज 1.5 घंटे में आप वाड़ा जाते, उस समय 2.5-3 घंटा लगता था. वैसे ही क्रॉसिंग में ही बहुत टाइम लगता था. सो वो डे जाता था. तो अगर जिस दिन वाड़ा गया तो क्लिनिक में सोता था.
तो क्लिनिक
फिर वो ग्रेजुअली ना क्लिनिक सेकंड जाते गया.
अच्छा.
और फिर वो हुआ कि 3 दिन नहीं गए, फिर 4 दिन नहीं गए, फिर वो छूट ही गया.
अच्छा.
देन फिर वो व्हेन अंकल यूज्ड टू गो आउट, देन आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट लोकम होता है कि अगर डॉक्टर बाहर गया तो आप बैठते हो, बस वो उतना ही.
So eventually ended up becoming a
locum. इवेंचुअली वो भी छूट गया मेरा. सो मेडिकल से मैं बेसिकली रनिंग प्रैक्टिस से बाहर हो गया.
अच्छा.
बट देन आई हैव फ्रेंड्स who are
I'm sure.
So I have a onco surgeon है. मेरे एक फ्रेंड हस्बैंड वाइफ है, उनका बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है.
I'm sure.
So I keep going meeting them. हाँ, तो उनसे बात होते रहता है. And I still have a few patients who still consult me only first. Then they go to the doctor.
Nice. So, sir, again, just missed on that part of how do we? How did you get into inks from corrugation?
So when I started corrugation in '96, this Wada unit. So I was completely into it. Then we had an opportunity in the family of indenting imported waste.
Imported waste.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
for craft paper, जो paper mills को requirement रहता है.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
So we had a partner. So we started importing imported waste.
Okay.
And we were indenting it basically. And that was also a good business. 2 years I did that.
Achha.
From 99 to 2000. 98 to 2000. And then because of some आपस के problems के कारण we parted
Differences
out.
of opinion.
Yeah, so we parted out and I came out of that field.
Okay.
So I had no work. Suddenly, June 2000 I left that. So suddenly I was without work. So there was again one more opportunity to go to Japan and import something. And by that time, Courts of India with DIC India,
Acha.
they were looking out for somebody to start a ink kitchen.
Okay.
They already had an ink kitchen of their own at Worli. But then the market was huge. They were not able to cater the complete market, and they could not penetrate the market.
Okay.
So they wanted this. This opportunity came to us because we were associated with ink industry.
Okay.
My father was supplying inks to Indian Express.
Okay.
Web inks. So we took this opportunity. We had this place idle. So we started it here in 2001 January.
Okay.
And there's one printer I would like to name, Shri Arun Packaging, Tushar.
Yeah.
Tushar and Hemant. So Hemant is the elder brother. He encouraged me. He told me.
Just tell me their surname.
Hemant Bhotika.
Bhotika. Okay.
So
yeah,
he really encouraged me. Ki, yes, this is a good business and you get into it.
Okay.
In fact, when I started, he came here. He sat with me. He explained me.
Nice.
Like how does the ink work and all that, and
Nice.
and he promoted me. He called up a couple of his friends. Ki you buy inks from him, So that gave me that confidence. Ki yes, this will work.
इसमें कर सकता है.
हाँ कर सकते हैं. And courts ने बहुत help किया. So we started here.
Great.
And initially वो होता है ना कि जब आपके पास कुछ नहीं है तो every run you score is नया score high level हो गया.
Right. Right.
So we kept on increasing.
So an MBBS doctor thought of pursuing MD, landed up in corrugation, then into paper scrap, eventually into the ink industry.
Yeah, eventually into the ink
that's quite an interesting.
And this was something out of the family, because family mein nobody was into printing ink and all.
So there are how many people in the printing industry from your family?
So everybody is into packaging. Everybody is into corrugation.
अच्छा.
So
यानी आपके जो 7 भाई हैं वो लोग सब corrugation.
मेरे 7 भाई, मेरे पापा के 7 भाई, पापा के 6 भाई की family, everybody is into corrugation. अच्छा.
So
everybody is running a corrugation factory associated with printing and
in
packaging.
Mumbai or
अलग है. Calcutta we have, Bangalore we have.
Okay.
So one of my cousins is in Kathmandu, so he has a factory there.
अच्छा.
So wherever my father and my uncles, wherever they got the opportunity, they started putting.
Oh,
factories.
nice.
And we've come till here.
Okay.
So I came into printing inks, which was a completely out of the box field.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
And then this was a very challenging job in the sense when I started.
Yeah.
The market was huge. Players were very less.
Acha.
In fact, I was the first, I would say, non-company. Directly the company is not involved.
Okay.
Commercially.
Okay.
So I was the first of that sort who started doing this.
Acha. So how been your? I just interrupted you. You were going to say something.
No, you did.
So I was wanting to know that inks mein what's been your experience, especially with a strong background in corrugation and packaging, because inks is not a voluminous game. It's sold in kgs and not in.
So
tons.
when I started, I only started with a matching center. I was not into trading inks. So matching was not a voluminous business.
Okay.
But matching was always a better profitable business than a trading business.
Okay.
Because you were developing something. You were developing colors.
Correct.
So Courts was giving us all the raw material that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we used to make colors out of it.
Okay.
And you make a recipe out of it, and then as the commercial printing goes on, you keep supplying the same color to them.
Okay.
So for us, matching was a big investment.
Okay.
For our business to grow.
Okay.
And matching always gives you a edge because competition creeps in not as actively as a trading में आता है. Trading is what आपने 100 रुपये का दिया, सामने वाले 99 का दिया, it goes away.
Correct.
But matching does not, because एक बार अगर आपका नंबर लग गया कहीं पे, if the color is developed, so generally the printers don't want to play around.
No want to play around. Yeah.
So they will not try to shift unless and until कि मेरे से बहुत ही झगड़ा हो गया या something
तो अलग
something एकदम ही उल्टा सीधा हो जाए तो.
Correct.
नहीं तो they always prefer कि एक बार ये टैग हो गया तो बस यही चलते
So can I say inks is a more reliable business? I mean, once you have set up the
Matching inks,
relationship,
yes.
matching inks. Yeah. So once you have a relationship,
because
it
also gives you service. This is service industry.
It's a service.
Yeah,
it's not a product business. It's a service.
So it
business.
is as and when required. So when I started this business, matchings were available in maybe 5 days, 7 days time.
Okay.
So there were only two major players, Courts and United.
I mean, you mean to say there's no one else who had a matching center?
That time, no.
Acha.
In kitchen nahi tha.
Which year are we talking about?
2000.
2000. Yeah. I mean, 22 years back there was no matching center.
No.
Acha.
There were matching centers, but the only companies were.
Only companies, yeah. So private में कोई किसी के पास नहीं.
Private में
which now most of the ink suppliers do have.
अभी तो बहुत हो गए. तो अभी then we came in the year 2000 December. So
first matching center.
Yes, you can say first matching.
First matching center. Yeah.
There was another one of micro inks.
Okay.
Hindustan Ink that time.
Okay.
But वो मेरे से 6 महीना ही पुराना था. So I won't really.
But then again they are ink manufacturer, no?
No, हमारे जैसा ही था.
अच्छा. Reseller.
Commercial अलग था.
Okay.
So वो विरवानी में ही थे वो.
Okay. Okay.
But probably उस समय कोर्ट्स का मार्केट शेयर बहुत बड़ा था.
हाँ, okay.
So
the impact was much higher.
Yeah. So that impact was higher.
Yeah.
And then with good support of courts, we started growing. Okay. And I started learning what matching was. In fact, I'll tell you, it is funny. When I came into this, that was the first time I understood that if you mix red and yellow, you make an orange. So I first time understood what was the meaning of a vibgyor. I don't know. Still, I think a lot of people don't understand. What is vibgyor? Vibgyor are the 7 rainbow colors. Everybody understands that.
Right.
But if you mix 2 alternate colors, the middle color comes out.
Is it?
Yeah. So if you see VIBGYOR.
So violet और blue mix किया तो indigo आएगा.
Yeah.
अच्छा.
So that is the fundamental formula.
Okay.
So I've learned all this coming into this industry.
Okay, I'm not sure how many people in the print industry know that.
Even today, I can challenge. A lot of people won't understand.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone speak in this way because हम लोग paper और printing में तो काफी inks की बात करते हैं.
फिर उसमें बहुत सारी technicalities है, which probably I will not be able to explain you wrong.
I can understand.
उसमें बहुत कुछ है to understand how color goes.
Correct.
So this was a very challenging industry, very promising when I started it.
So when you say challenges, what are the kind of challenges you have faced in the printing industry?
Lots. When I started,
one or two for us at least that you can.
I'll tell you on the Diwali day when you do puja at home in the night. I was at a printer's place running my ink there because the shade difference आते थे बहुत.
अच्छा.
So for us, substrate is very important.
Right.
The base on which the ink is going to be printed. तो पहले के ज़माने में क्या होता था? 2001 में या उस समय के टाइम में क्लाइंट फ़ोन करके क्या बोलता है वाइट पेपर है उसके ऊपर चलाना है. अभी वाइट पेपर में यू हैव 10 टाइप्स ऑफ वाइट पेपर. So you say white paper, I take another white paper, you take another white paper, the color goes haywire.
True.
So then ये सब होता था issues, but then you had to go to the client and adjust or maybe you call it back, adjust. ये सब बहुत होता था.
So you might be a very valuable asset for the printer.
I don't know how do they take it, but I always thought I was a valuable asset for them. And still also, we try to solve problems if there are problems do occur. I mean, there are n number of variables.
Right.
So, you have to catch hold of any other variable. Ab lekin, because science came in. So somebody recently told, we were having a meeting. So he told me, that matching is not an art, matching is a science.
Okay.
So art can be related only to one person. There can be an artist, but science can be learned by everyone.
Right.
So you have to understand. I remember Mr. Kampani giving a seminar, and he's saying that today you can speak numbers. This is I'm talking.
You said a very interesting thing. Can you just repeat that? Art is unique and science is something.
So matching is not an art. It is a science.
Okay.
So art, if you are an artist, it will be related to you only and limited to you.
It cannot
only.
be replicated.
Yeah. Right. Your art cannot be replicated.
Very interesting.
But science can be learned by everyone.
Science can be learned and retaught couple of times.
Absolutely. So this was a very important sentence.
Actually, very nice.
Even I heard it from someone else, so I don't take credit
it was
for
nice.
it.
I'm sure it will give a lot of thought material to many people.
Yeah, and this is actually the truth. This is not an art. This is a science. And so I remember Mr. Kampani, in a seminar saying that today you can speak numbers, colors.
Why would you say so?
Yeah, because Pantone came in, I think, in 2002 or 3. Pantone is a guide.
Correct, yeah.
So Pantone,
they've got numbers.
Yeah, they've got numbers. So now a person sitting in, say, Calcutta can tell me that, bhai, I need this color Pantone number.
Yes.
So he doesn't have to send me the master. He doesn't have to. He can just give me that number.
Right.
And I can match that number and give it
Saves
to him
time.
back. So it saves time.
But then ये जो पेपर वाला जो शेड है, क्योंकि भाई इतने सारे शेड हैं, कोई कभी नेचुरल है, कोई
so variable is the
bluish
paper.
white है, तो how do you counter that?
Yeah, so that is a very important point, and there is where we lose.
Okay.
There is where we or the printer loses, because if we don't have the substrate, because see, we are not the paint industry. Paint industry में क्या होता है? Everything is on a white background.
Correct.
So before putting any paint, they first put white and then they put it. So even if you go to a anytime center where they make colors as per your
have you not thought of giving a coat to the printer कि आप ये कोट मार लो, इसके बाद प्रिंट करना है, something like that?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता ना. पेपर पे डायरेक्ट इंक ही जाता है. So you have to take that paper, the base paper for matching.
I'm just thinking in terms of making it easier.
So matching is not something like कि सर मेरे को शाहरुख खान चाहिए, आप बस वो देख लो, शाहरुख खान से थोड़ा सा मोटा, शाहरुख खान से थोड़ा सा पतला, ऐसा नहीं होता. What you want, that's it. So now, what happened with the Pantone also, now you have differences. If you have 3 Pantone books of the same edition also, you will have slight differences in the color.
Right.
Now the tolerance levels have gone down. So tolerance levels has become almost, very negligible. So the tolerance levels are less. So now you can talk colors in numbers. So after Spectro I came in, I think in 2004 or 5.
Yeah.
So 2005 Spectro I came in. So now you can match colors with lab values.
Okay.
So everything can be done on numbers. So I remember one funny incident, I'll tell you. So there was one of these clients who wanted everything on lab values.
Okay.
And so he gave us a lab value and he gave us a corresponding Pantone number.
Okay.
So when we were doing the matching with that lab value, the color was going yellowish. And whereas in the Pantone it was looking greener.
Okay.
So I called him up and I said, "Bhai, ये इतना फर्क आ रहा है. So what do I do?" He said, "Just follow the lab values." So my color has to be within the limit of the lab values and the delta.
Achha.
So I can get it approved.
Okay.
Done. So now you have those numbers. So you only work on those numbers.
Right.
So now अभी ये क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आता है कि आप विजुअली क्या देख रहे हो. पहले विजुअली सब पास होता था.
Right.
अभी भी विजुअली 80% या 90% आज भी विजुअली पास होता है इंडिया में. लेकिन still you can counter it with this kind of a system.
Okay. So since you mentioned about India and so I'm taking world as a reference. So if you would had to say how is India positioned today with regards to the world in terms of the printing ink industry? Are we like amongst the best of best? I'm not talking in terms of volumes, but I'm talking in terms of our competence in terms of delivering to our customers, that's printers.
So I don't have much knowledge on this, but what I understand basically is you have all multinational players in India.
Mm-hmm.
So today it could be a DIC, it's a Japanese company. You have a Sigwork, which is a German company. You have Hoover, which is again a German company. So all these multinational companies are in India.
Right.
And so they are the main market here. They are holding the main market of printing industry.
So we're basically more or less around the same
so the
at
technology
the global level.
The technology is global.
Yeah. So there is nothing that we are ahead or behind the industry. We are more or less around the same.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know the way of working abroad, but we are still that local market wala feel hai abhi bhi.
You were telling me before the conversation started that the concept of resellers are not that prevalent in the West.
Yeah, I have not heard about it. So between the company and the end user, so the company started floating people like us. So we are in kitchens who are locally placed.
Okay.
So if I am placed in Vasai, I can cater the Vasai market. Vasai market is huge. I am located at Goregaon. So there will be somebody who is located at Navi Mumbai, because matching industries become as and when required.
Right.
अगर आज चाहिए तो आज ही चाहिए, अभी चाहिए तो अभी चाहिए. So if sitting here, I think of catering somebody in New Bombay. Logistically, it is not possible.
Okay. Why would not be possible?
For me to go and attend or deliver to New Bombay, it will take at least 2 hours. So by that time, he has to already print. So he will take it from his neighbor.
Oh, okay.
So that way, wherever, and the luckily in apne Bombay mein, I know at least, you have, printing industries in densities, they are located in one area.
Strong pockets.
Yeah, so strong pockets are there. So like Vasai is a pocket, now Bhiwandi is coming up, New Bombay is a pocket, Lower Parel was a big pocket once upon a time. Goregaon was a big pocket once upon a time.
Correct. So how would you say amongst your success, that I'm sure there would be a lot, but some of the success that you have seen in the print industry that you can remember that I'm very proud of this event, anything specific?
related to me or to the industry?
To you. I mean, you with respect to the industry.
So I have grown with the industry. I mean,
I'm sure, yeah.
We've tried to, what I would say, we've tried to keep ourselves updated in terms of technology. Whatever technology came in, we've tried to adopt that immediately. We've not tried to.
Can you say in something specific?
Yeah, so like Spectro I came in 2004 or 5.
Okay, what's a Spectro I just for our
So it's a color computer.
Okay.
So it can give you those values where your color stands and how much is the difference.
Okay, so you were amongst the first guys who got
that. So DIC, that time Courts of India, they were promoting that, and so we also bought it. And in 2005, it was a very new thing which had come in the market for us to understand, for the printers also to understand that it was a challenge. But then we took that up. So I remember 2006 or 7, UV market came in, UV inks came in.
Okay.
So again, it was a very new market. People did not
absolutely.
have, and usme matchings karna. So that was an edge. So I bought immediately as the market came in. Courts asked me whether you're going to start. I said yes, I'm going to start. So immediately invested the machine, and we brought a lab curing machine.
Great.
And we started doing matchings.
Nice.
So we got that edge, first on first.
So you always try to stay ahead of the curve.
So we try to be always with the market, and we kept ourselves updating. And 2000 se leke abhi tak, printing industry has evolved like anything in technology. It has gone to another level.
Yeah, and India is growing by leaps and bounds.
So if I don't, or we don't, anybody for that matter, if we don't try to match them, we will be out of the race.
I agree.
You have to be, in hands with them.
Absolutely. So you've been how many years now in the ink industry? 21 years. So you're young. You just told me you're around 52.
Yeah.
I'm taking that liberty to share it publicly.
No problem.
So you've got another 10-15 years. Where do you see yourself, your legacy? What would you want your legacy to be known as?
See, honestly, I'll tell you honestly. You see, Ginni Gopal Ink, because the market has gone out of Bombay, so Ginni Gopal Ink does not, carry, but still, in the market, I am known by the name of Ginni Gopal Inks only. So
right.
In spite of my Vasai unit doing, at least 5 times more business than what Ginni Gopal is doing, or maybe 10 times more business than what Ginni Gopal is doing.
And the name for Vasai is different?
Yeah, it's different.
Okay. What is that?
BK Inks.
BK Inks, okay.
So the proprietor there is my wife. So
okay.
I'm only a worker there.
Okay.
So anyways, my branding still stands on this name, Ginni Gopal.
That's the legacy.
Yeah, that's the legacy.
I'm sure you're paying your due respect to your grandparents, grandmother and grandfather.
So you can see it here as well. It's Ginni Gopal Group. So we are a big family, again I tell you.
Right.
And we are all working under the roof of this name.
That's nice.
It can be Ginni Gopal boards, it can be Ginni Gopal Inks. So we have a export unit that is also Ginni Gopal overseas.
Okay.
So everything we start is Ginni Gopal.
Okay. So I think I just have 1 or 2 questions more for you. Something about the myths of the ink industry, specifically because that's your expertise. Anything you feel that लोगों को लगता है कि बहुत आसान है या तो बहुत मुश्किल है. Anything that you would want to break?
दोनों है और हर इंडस्ट्री होता है. जब किसी से बात होता है, competitor से बात होता है. In fact, I'll tell you we all competitors are very good friends. We don't have that kind of a grudge है कि वो मेरा competitor है, he should not know, or he should not come to my factory, or I should not be going to his office. Something ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. We are all very open.
Okay.
We talk to each other a lot. We discuss. कुछ नया आता है market में, we discuss.
Okay.
There is something to share कि भाई कहीं market खराब है वहाँ मत जाओ. I keep on hearing from people कि अरे वैसे ही मार्केट बेकार है. अरे कुछ बेकार नहीं है यार. पीपल आर मेकिंग मनी, पीपल आर अर्निंग, काम है, पैसा आता है. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? यू हैव एवरी इंडस्ट्री हैज इट्स
गुड एंड बैड
बोथ सब में होते हैं.
वो तो होता ही है.
तो उसी से आपके लक में अगर कोई आ भी गया, और वो होता ही है, वो दैट इज इनएविटेबल. यू डू बिजनेस. एंड मुझे तो आई लाइक प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री, इंक इंडस्ट्री. आई हैव बीन एंजॉयिंग, आई हैव ग्रोन इन दिस. Today, I can afford whatever I can.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you have your next generation coming in?
I don't know. Yeah, my son is still doing a job after he did his MBA.
Okay.
He's working with Bain right now.
The consultancy group.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
He has that itch now to get into business.
with so much of things happening around in India, I'm sure. And I think if you have a platform, you should always try. And
so there is still a lot which we can do as a group or as a, as BK Inks or Ginni Gopal.
Probably any manufacturers.
No, no, that is too far off. Because that is, a big investment and a lot of competition, because you have competition. I don't know how to put it, but then बहुत पैसा है. I don't know whether ROI is going to be good.
True. You'll have to look into your books and see how the whole thing works out from a long term
perspective. But अगर आप वैसे भी देखो तो अभी भी ink में and especially this matching industry. Matching industry is huge. I will still say matching industry is huge, provided you are service oriented. You have that, affinity towards. You cannot say no. You shouldn't be saying no.
So you cater only to the offset industry or to other industries?
So we started. So that is what I'm saying. You have to increase your portfolios, and you have to, basket has to be more bigger. You can add so many things. Now there is a Flexo water based, Flexo UV.
Gravier is growing, Flexo is growing.
So everything has matchings.
Yeah.
Everything
needs matching. Yeah, true.
So and matching.
Any brand would want their logo, be it a Colgate or a Unilever.
So matching is something which connects you directly to the customer, and that वो break आना ना बहुत मुश्किल है, unless and until you actually want it to break. Right. अगर मैं नहीं चाहूँगा ना कि मेरा कस्टमर मुझसे टूटे मैचिंग के लिए, तब तक वो नहीं टूटेगा. क्योंकि वो और मैंने एक देखा है, आप दुकान चालू रखो ना, माल बिकता ही.
And any word of advice for the printing industry? That's something that you would want to share with?
No, it's a hard-working industry, so you should be ready to hard work. And if you work hard, you are paid well.
Yeah.
You can really earn, and earn respect as well. Because मैंने नहीं देखा है, मैं जब आया था ना इंडस्ट्री में तो हम लोग को ऐसा लगता था यार हम इंक वाले हैं, and we are hardly 1 or 2% of the cost of a printer.
Correct.
तो वो हमको क्यों इतना इम्पोर्टेंस देगा, लेकिन we are the most important. Especially I'll give you an example in lockdown. So printers got permission to start because they were doing pharma packaging.
Right.
So what do they print if they don't have inks?
Yeah.
How do they print?
Right.
So for them we had to keep ourselves open.
Right.
And I don't say they're dependent on us, but to a certain extent they are.
Yeah.
They cannot work without us.
It's a hand-in-hand industry. Absolutely. Without inks you can't do, without paper you can't do.
अच्छा 4 color फिर भी मिल जाएगा. Matching तो बहुत important है.
Correct.
You will not get matching so easily.
Yeah.
And you can't waste your time on machines.
Yeah.
So that is very
because it's a capital cost. You have to keep it running as much time as possible.
So lockdown was.
So some experience you want to share with the lockdown?
Yeah, lockdown was a good experience for me. A lot to learn. As a doctor also, I've seen so many things. I've unfortunately I've lost almost 10 of my alumnus.
Okay.
In COVID.
Okay.
But work-wise, if you say, Vasai was working well.
Okay.
Not 100% of course, but at least to the extent of 50% we were working.
Okay.
Market was smooth. We also got to learn a lot of things in lockdown. We, when you reach a particular stage, then उसके बाद ऐसा लगता है कि the staff is taking care, things are taking care, system is taking care. You don't intervene in everyday affair. So unfortunately, lockdown mein workers could not reach, the staff could not reach.
Right.
So you had to take the onus.
Right.
So you were peon to the boss. You were handling everything. So a lot of corrections do happen when you yourself get into things, and so probably I got into a lot of corrections that time, which helped me grow again. After
self introspection काफी अच्छे से कर पाए होंगे. Many of my friends told me that, and I'm sure it would have been a very positive phase for you. Besides the fact that we've lost some of our loved ones.
It doesn't look good to even say that कि lockdown was good for me. Because we've lost so many lives in that. There have been so many losses people have taken, but somehow lockdown worked well for our company.
Business.
Yeah. Because recovery was very good. So many recovery was happening and work was happening.
That's nice. One more question to you, Raviji, is like we have identified you to be a part of one of our top 20-25 podcasts. So is there anyone that you have in mind कि मैं इनका story सुनना चाहूँगा कि
So there are many. I'll if I have to name a lot of people, and everybody has his or her story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But then as I told you, I know a guy called Harshad Patel. He's in Vasai, Perfect Print and Pack.
Okay.
He was a MR himself. So
Acha, he was a
from a
medical rep.
MR to today, what he is owning 2 or 3 machines, and he's running a press beautifully.
Lovely.
So I would like
Harshad Patel.
Harshad Patel.
Oh.
So I would like to know what how it
Yeah.
evolved and how he reached
Sure,
here.
sure. We would love to connect with him.
Then again, I would like to hear from Tushar Bhotika.
Arun Packaging.
Shri Arun Packaging.
Okay.
Because he has many ideas keep coming to his mind, and I would and he's a very strong accounts guy.
Acha.
Finance so solid. So he has his own convictions, and I would like to know, because he also started, in spite of being in a family which was based foundation was only printing.
Okay.
तो वहाँ से यहाँ तक आना, and he also has his odds, which and the best part of Tushar, which I would like to say now on record, the way he's brought his next generation in, the way he has trained him, that is something which really amuses me.
That's nice. I mean, I'm
so
sure people, if he would share with us, and people would like to
So I've
listen,
seen a lot
because
of
that's
next
something very
generations
important.
coming in, but then the way he has taught him in the hard way, the soft way, everything mixed, that was something which really inspired.
That's interesting. Would love to connect with them. Anyone else, or?
बहुत हैं यार, फिर I think you should connect to some people in ink industry as well.
Yeah, sure. That's the whole idea. We just don't want people from a certain industry or a certain scale. ऐसा नहीं कि किसी का बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस हो या सिर्फ प्रिंटर हो. हम सब तरह के लोगों से बात करना चाहते हैं. We want to understand what's their story. How are they making their bit? Like as you said, कोविड में जब एक फार्मास्यूटिकल प्रिंटर इंपॉर्टेंट था, तो प्रिंटर को इंक देने वाला इंक सप्लायर भी उतना इंपॉर्टेंट था. So it's that connect which is important, and that is what we are trying to bring out.
Yeah.
So my last question to you is, any feedback for us? How do you find this podcast? Do you think we have something to improve?
This is a very good idea and a new idea. I have shared my experience, and I'm sure I'll be able to learn a lot by hearing other people say what they have their experience. I feel in India आपको ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस मिलेंगे जो कहाँ से कहाँ तक आए हैं.
करेक्ट.
ठीक है. रैग्स टू रिचेस की भी बहुत स्टोरीज हैं, रिचेस टू मोर रिचेस की भी बहुत सारी स्टोरीज हैं. Everybody has his way of working, his way of thinking.
Correct.
So you learn from that. Somebody says something.
Right.
तो like अभी वही बात हुई कि जो anything, it's not a art, it's a science.
Yes.
So this is a very big statement to make, and for the commonest person to understand this.
Right.
So I have seen young boys coming into industry and becoming matchers.
Okay.
So अगर आप उसको, जब वो मैचिंग नहीं करता था, अगर आप उसको कलर पूछोगे तो उसको शायद नहीं समझ में आता था.
Correct.
But then they have that eye to understand what is a red and what is a blue.
Right.
What is the slight difference.
Yeah.
So everybody cannot express it.
Right.
And they have today all become good matchers. They are making good money.
Nice.
So the industry has grown, people have grown. Because of this matching industry, a lot of people have got opportunities. बहुत कुछ है सीखने के लिए और बहुत कुछ किया है.
I'm sure we
so similarly podcast से भी अगर when I hear I just heard a few printers उनका story सुना.
Right.
They are motivating at times. You understand something more, you learn something more. Their way of thinking, their way of working also helps us.
Yeah.
So like abhi I shared Samrat ka, my younger brother's thing. That was something out of box idea.
Yeah, actually someone would surely want to explore.
When he told me also, it was like क्या कर रहा है पागलपन है. But then if you really
that's the whole idea. Yeah, it's about sharing those experiences which probably would have helped someone grow, and if वो एक thought लेके कोई और उसको लेके आगे भागे अपने industry में, it might probably help us.
So we've also done a lot of changes in the system. What we do, we keep learning from people. We keep doing systems changes. We go to companies. हम वहाँ देखते हैं उनको क्या चाहिए. Maybe अगर उसी को हम replicate कर पाएँ हमारे यहाँ, तो it helps.
Sure.
And ink industry का best है, keep meeting technical people. They impart so much knowledge.
Yeah.
So when you sit with them and you talk to them, they impart so much knowledge. So like आपने शुरू में बोला ना कि being a doctor, and when you're talking to someone, और वो जब मालूम पड़ता है डॉक्टर है, उसका नज़रिया
पूरा बदल जाता है.
इंक इंडस्ट्री में I have seen technical people, they always get respect because they have that knowledge.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge होता है तो you kind of have lot of doors that are open.
So I don't know how many printers are going to see this, but then they will realize वो जो टेक्निकल होते हैं ना उसको वो लोग जी लगा के बात करते हैं और बाकी सेल्समैन को सिर्फ नाम से बुला लेते हैं.
अच्छा. Oh, okay. That's something we'll have to really
and this is a
check.
fact.
Oh, okay.
This is a fact.
Okay. That's nice.
I can prove it if required.
That's a very interesting thing.
I've seen lots of people.
That's nice. That's
lots
nice.
of people technical. They
really
doing share good
well
knowledge
for themselves. Yeah, that's nice. Great, Raviji. It was a very wonderful conversation. Though I'm meeting you for the first time, I felt as if I've known you for a very long time.
Even I am feeling the same.
I mean, it's a privilege. मैंने जब पहली बार सुना कि ये MBBS डॉक्टर है तो मुझे तो लगा मिलना ही है. So right from an MBBS doctor to being part of the family business in corrugation and then an imported scrap supplier to an ink or successful ink matcher and supplier in Mumbai. Glad to meet you, and it's an honor and privilege to getting a chance to speak to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.